All right, welcome back everybody. We're going to get into the reduced reach conversion kit on the 2013 Dyna Wide Glide. It's a pretty simple conversion. We're going to go over all of that right now. Let's see here. We got all the parts needed. So you got tools is pretty simple, a T45 Torx bit. Then you need a 1/2 inch and a 9/16 socket and ratchet. Flatheads extra to pop the pin out of the foot peg. I'm using 2 crescent wrenches to do the brake control bar, which is down in here. Then we have the conversion kit mounting brackets and some anti-seize. Torque wrench is preferred. It's 30 to 35 foot-pounds of torque for the bolts. You always want to make sure you're not over tightening or stripping anything out. And you definitely want to make sure that you don't under tighten things. So let's get into this. We'll get started right away. We'll start over here on the right side. First thing we got to do is remove the brake bar. So we'll remove locking washer on the back side, knock the pin out, there we go. And the pin is what I'd gotten the screwdriver for so that I could pop it out if it was jammed in there, but it wasn't. So we'll put the washer locking ring back onto there for now. Set it down on the table. Make sure the brake bar is broken loose, the locking nut on the back side. All right, that's loosened up. Now what we're gonna have to do, that's going to go all the way around. All right, so we're going to have to count the rotations of the bar coming out. You want at least 9 threads in the master cylinder at minimum when putting it back in. So we're going to count the rotations out, verify that it should be around 9. We'll take the locking nut off, put it on the other one, and we'll get them swapped over. So starting from right there, we need to rotate it in the opposite direction. Well, we might have to remove this bracket before we can do that. So disconnect that and we'll go to actual mount real quick. So let's set this to remove. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to remove the peg first. That way I have leverage to remove this bolt and nut on this side. That will be 9/16, I believe. Let's see here. All right, 9/16 on the bottom, T45 up top. All right, there we go. All right, take that nut and bolt out, slide your peg out, and remember there's a shim in here. It bevels up, has a hump leaning in the upward direction and a flat side on the back side. So we'll pull that out, throw our bolt in through here, throw our shim on. Let's set that down right here. Then behind here, you have your pivot bar for your brake pedal. So there's a bolt that goes through here, and we're actually going to have to replace that bar inside because we're about to change the angle of the brake pedal. So let's get that off while we have leverage as well. Took a little bit more effort to get that loose, but there we go. All right, there we go. It's a long bolt. Make sure you keep that in there. You'll be reusing that. Then pull the brake pedal off and our bushing out. It has a notch cut on one side, which lines up with the bracket for the foot peg, and then a notch on the other side, which lines up with a groove inside here. You'll see the new one on the conversion kit. Bring this in here. The notch on the original is even on both sides. So, I don't know if you can see that right there, both sides. The new one, it actually shifts it by about maybe 5 degrees. So it's not even. So you're gonna make sure you use the new one. Set the old one up here on the table. Bring the new one down here. Set that there. All right, now that we got that off, we'll pull the actual bracket off that holds the whole setup on there. Slide this chair in a little bit too far away. All right. The kit comes with all new bolts, so you can set the old ones to the side and don't have to reuse them. Alright, I think that's out mostly. There we go. Get that off, get that set down. Now we should be able to turn this brake bar off. Alright, that's where it starts, I believe. Yeah, starts right there. So from there, 4 turns, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that would be 8.5. So we may have room, and we may try to put it on 9, and that was 8.5 before it fell off. So we'd want to make sure we go to about 10.5 to verify that it stays on there with the new one. So you have your locking nut for your master cylinder is on the end here. So we're going to take that off, put it on our new bar. All right, we're going to take our locking nut and we're going to thread it onto here. Just go all the way on with it. And slides back in the same way we brought the other one out. Find where it lines up. Right there. All right, we got it on there. One thread, got it started. Now I'm gonna rotate it another 9, or at least another 8.5, so that we're at 9.5. We'll see, so that it ends up in this outward position like this. So we need from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Put the locking nut back most of the way. Doesn't need to go all the way on yet. Now, next step from here is going to be to put our new mounting plate on there. Which on this side, you have this bracket right here. It is 3 holes, and it has a curved portion right here. That curved portion will be going upwards. So, step 1 is going to be to put this first one in here. All right, we're going to get it most of the way tight, not all the way. We need to be able to move it a little bit to line up the next two. Or, sorry, the upper bolt on the next one. Back it up just a little bit, like that. So it's got a little play to it. All right, the next step we want to do is take this and take out the old bolts. Here's one of our new ones right here. And then the upper one is the longer bolt in the kit. It's about twice the length, and that's because it has to go through the bracket, through the plate, and then into the frame. So that's our upper one, and then our lower one. Basically, I'm gonna just make sure our upper one lines up because it goes through the plate as well. And then once we're there and we got that lined up, I will be able to start tightening that down like that. That is in. Now we can rotate this over and put the second one in. And you can see already at this point, the mount has been completely repositioned. I'd say the original position was here. So you've got probably an 1.5 inch, 1 3/4 movement. I probably should have measured beforehand so that we got an actual measurement of what was done, but learning experience. We'll have to do that on the next one we do. All right, so now that those are all in, I'm going to mostly tighten up this top one, the one that goes through everything. Switch that. Get that going. That way everything's lined up here. Get that out of the way. Switch positions here so that I can get a better angle at this. All right. Alright, that one's the torque. Let me switch to this ratchet for a second. Might move a little faster for me. Back to the torque wrench so that we know where to spec, which again is between 30 and 35 foot-pounds. I have this one set at about 34.5. I prefer to have it as tight as possible. All right. Like that. Alright, so those are all on there. Now, next step is going to be to put our, don't move, our brake bar on there with our bushing. Alright, doesn't seem to be any marks. Alright, so now we need to take this, and prior to running this is where the anti-seize comes in. So we need to put anti-seize on this. Last thing you want is to go step on your brake and it have gotten rusted up and you're now seizing and can't step on your brake. That's not a good thing. So anti-seize, grab that, spread that on here real quick. punch a hole through that. Squirt a little bit on here. And apply it all the way around it. Try your best to not get it on your hands because this stuff sticks really bad and does not want to come off, which is what you want for the part. All right, there we go. Got that all the way around the outside of this. Well, now put the cap back on this. All right, now we come back over here and we're going to take the brake pedal. We're going to slide this right on through the inner ring on that. Get some turning in there, make sure that anti-seize is nice and in there. All right. Take a blue rag and wipe off all the extra. I don't want a whole bunch of sticking out on me. All right. Once you got that in there, you got to line up the flat side with your groove right here. Right. So that's all the way up here, like that. I'm going to hold that because that just touched my muffler and I don't want to smack into my muffler. Then we need to take our foot peg bracket, mount that in there. Again, we go to this one real quick to try to work our way through that real fast. There we go. That is the only bolt that you reuse in the kit. All right, so now that that is on there, I'm going to use my foot as a prop. Like I said, you don't want that pedal smacking your pipe. You'll regret it later. And then I'm going to actually stick this pin in to my brake push rod. Like that. That way it does not flop back down on me. Right there. Oh man, that is a close fit in there. All right, but that's that. So we are now lined up with that. Get that. All right. Real quick here, I'm gonna grab the directions. Don't tell my wife. But I just want to verify torque on that one right there. I know the other ones are 31 to 35 pounds. So this one, it says 32 to 35. So it's a little bit tighter tolerances. So again, good thing I checked. Not that I'd have been off at 34 and a half, which is what I'm running mine at. But let's just verify that now. Yep, that's at 34 and a half, 35. Set that down. All right, since our pin is already in here, I'm gonna put our locking ring back on. All right, there we go. Now our foot peg. Take your nut off. Before you bolt out. All right, it should, that goes that way. All right, and remember your shim, you want the hump going upwards and your flat edge towards the inside. And then we'll rock this in there. Like I said, later on, these are going to be replaced with mini floorboards so that I have a little more comfortable positioning for my feet. All right, that is on there now. Get the nut on. Get our ratchet set with our 9/16 socket here. It is set to tighten. All right. All right, now that's tight. I'm going to use this. I don't want to go too far with that, and I did. This has a locking nut on it, so it will actually, it'll hold itself in position. But go back just a bit. All right, one more turn tight. There we go. That's perfect. Nice and tight. It'll hold up if I needed it to. All right. And all right. Next step, we need to tighten down our locking nut back here on the master cylinder where the push rod connects into the master cylinder. So that involves, I'm using 2 crescent wrenches, one thinner one and a thicker one for the actual nut. Get that on the master cylinder locking main nut right there. And then grab the locking nut with the other one. Tighten that up. That is one side complete. Now we're going to jump over to the other side, and that one should be a little faster. All right, on that side we are going to need a 1/2 inch instead of a 9/16, because on the left side or the horn side, it does not have to have the foot peg taken off. The foot peg does not have to come off for that. And we'll see if we can get you slid over there and start that up. All right. Sorry, things are a little bit tighter on this side. Wasn't really thinking that out when I positioned. I was more thinking about lighting, and my garage does not have the best. All right, so first thing we got to do is remove the 2 mounting bolts down here. I'm going to set the new plate up here carefully. Because the last thing I want is for that to slide off. Actually, I'm going to put that in my pocket. All right, put that in there, and the bolts on the other side. All right, now I'll put again T45. We'll put it on this side. And pop this one off over here. right, that's the bottom bolt out. All right, so now that's going to want to rotate around. Just hold it. Don't let everything start smacking all over. Rotate. All right, that's almost off. Let's see if we can get that by hand. There we go. All right. So, I'm gonna set that gently right like that. Pull that out. All right. I'm gonna take our plate. It has 2 holes that are countersunk. Those are your holes that are going to bolt into the old holes. So you'll take 2 new bolts, put them through those 2 slots. Carefully pull that out, get them started. All right. Reverse this. Make sure it drops into that countersink hole. You don't want to be tightening up on the outer edge of it. All right, I've got to carefully set this down so that I can get on there. Ooh. All right, we're gonna go to there for now. I don't want to go too far in until I get the next part up, and then we'll verify that everything's tightened properly. All right, so we're gonna bring this up now, and these will tighten into the 2 new holes. Like that. All right, same thing, we'll start tightening these down. All right, next one. All right. Got those most of the way done. Switch back to the actual mounting ones for the plate. All right. Get those tightened most of the way like this, and then we'll torque them up. All right, those are all done. Basically hand tight with that ratchet. Now we're gonna jump to the torque ratchet, and we are going to torque down to spec. And make sure you're holding the socket in there when you do this, so you don't strip the head of the bolt out. All right. Last one. All right, those are all torqued to spec. Now, as I said, you need a 1/2 inch on this side. And the reason is your shifter peg has now been, the degree of it has changed. So it's slight, but basically you wanna loosen this up. And it's got a through bolt. Pull that bolt out of there. And your shift linkage will slide off. And once it does, I'm going to change it by maybe a tooth. And we're going to rotate up. Right there. And then carefully jiggle that back in there. You know, not much, just one tooth, but let's tighten that down. All right, and now that's tightened down. Clean up these tools real fast. All right, pick up those, trash. This out of here. All right. Now that our conversion kit's done, let's see what this looks like here. So we'll get up in here and you can see that new plate right there. Replacing it. You see it moves it probably a good 1.5 inches there. So then on the other side, it has rotated it and lifted it. It's hard to see that other bolt up in there. All right, and then the new brake push rod that runs down through there to the back. So now that that's done, let's have a hop on it real quick and see how that feels. All right. Get our light out of the way. All right. Oh man, absolute major difference. Fully feelable. Prior to this, and this is with tennis shoes on, this isn't without not even having riding boots on. I used to be on my toes to where the balls are, and I can put my full heel down flat now. There's no doubt about it. That is going to be significantly better and probably a much more comfortable ride. All right. like that. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, watching the video. I'm going to try to get as many of these in as I can. Hopefully we'll be able to learn together as I do these modifications to the bike. And the next one, as I said before in the last video, is going to be the mustache engine guard. And when that comes in, we will get that mounted up and we'll get it installed on here so you guys can see how that looks. All right. Thank you guys again. I appreciate you watching.